It's going to be a jet pump removal for 2016 Sea-Doo 90 horsepower. It's going to be the same for I think all of the non-IBR models regardless of the year. But this is a 2016. This is a 13 millimeter deep well. You have two sets of bolts that are on the jet pump. You have the nozzle housing one of the pumps, and then you have the actual bolts for the pump itself. So what you have here is this would be a jet pump bolt, and then further back behind it is the actual bolts for the that was a jet nozzle bolt, and then back here is a jet pump bolt, and then also where I'm at now is another jet pump bolt. What I do is I loosen them a little bit each to get the torque off. I don't commonly take out an entire bolt or loosen an entire bolt. I try to loosen them all a little bit to prevent warping, something that you would do commonly when you remove parts from your engine, like a valve cover, especially with the type of metals that they use. So I just kind of continue that practice on everything. Once I have the torque off of the bolts, then I come with my drill and remove the bolts. You can see here, when I replace them, I'll make sure that the washers are on and that I use thread locker, thread sealer. Blue is typically the color. Again, so those three bolts are removed. Now the next thing that we have to take off to free the pump is the steering assembly. It's a 10 millimeter socket there. It has a nut and a bolt on each end. So I'm going to hold the bolt while I remove the socket. And this bolt is it already has a lock nut, I guess. It has plastic on the inside to hold this bolt pretty tight in lieu of a lock washer. So that makes it hard to screw and unscrew by hand when it's engaged with that locking mechanism in the bolt. The next thing is the jet pump hose here, and on my craft it just pulls out. Normally I think you should remove the hose clamp that connects to the hose intake, but mine just pulls in and out. So that's just what I do. Next thing you want to do is just wiggle your entire pump assembly a little bit and pull it forward towards you. And once you do that, you will have your jet pump. So that's how you remove the jet pump. And one of the issues that I had with this particular with this ski was that I felt a lot of cavitation when I was doing some tricks, and I kind of see what the issue is. The first issue is the rubber on the shaft entry is broken, so I'll get that replaced. And the other issue is that my weir ring is cracked. So the weir ring just seats in there. One of the things you do want to pay attention to on your weir ring is to make sure that your seal on your weir ring is not damaged. So you're going to want to look at this. As you can see, it comes off and snaps back into place. So you're going to want to take a look at that and make sure that it's not damaged or As you can see in this case, it looks like this one was smushed a little bit, and so it's kind of been perforated or pressed in since it's been in for such a long time. But the issue with this wear ring, and this is why I go with stainless steel interior with a plastic exterior, is because that it will allow these rings to still crack and protect your drive shaft and your internal engine parts. And this one is heavily cracked. There's a huge crack right here, and there's another crack right here. There's an even bigger crack right here. And so these, cracked probably because I sucked something up. And because I sucked something up, if there's any obstruction between the impeller and the wear ring, the steel interior is still thin enough to crack. Whereas if it was completely steel, I would have either grinded up whatever went in there, or would have potentially damaged the motor. So that's why I go with this. So now that I know what my issue is, I'll go ahead and change my wear ring. I'll try to find this rubber boot that goes over the impeller shaft intake, and I'll be good to go. It's really simple, really fast. What is a 6-minute video, and I wasted a lot of minutes saying and explaining the damaged wear ring.